Hey, good morning and welcome. And hello, Val. Long time no see. How you doing?
Oh, long time no see. Well, doing well. It's a beautiful sunny Monday. Can't complain. But yeah, all is well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you going to Ecom Expo this week?
I will. I will be there. Yes.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there. So, for those that perhaps haven't been on one of these before, this is the Ecom Engine. Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about how loyalty is the new acquisition. And so, we're talking about the importance of personalized experiences across the user journey to turn first time customers into more dedicated repeat customers. And so, before we dive in, Val, just perhaps a little bit about you. Tell me about you, your role, and a little bit about Rebuy, and then we'll dive into the meat of today's conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. It's been such a pleasure to work with you, with the Quickfire team. So doing these initiatives together are always so exciting, taking our partnership to the next level. So a little bit about myself. I'm Val. I look after our agency partners and strategic tech partners over here in the UK and Europe. I've been with Rebuy for 3.5 years. So really have seen the platform and the team evolve. It's been an amazing journey. I primarily focus on supporting our agency partners, so making sure that their clients have the best experiences with the tool. They get to see that boost in revenue and average order value. The agencies themselves too can be the stars of the show, creating the best experiences for them, and just making sure that I'm the middleman and I get to streamline the communication and operations between our team and our agency partners' clients. So that's my role itself. About Rebuy. Rebuy is a personalization platform on Shopify. We work to personalize every point of the customer journey. So from homepage, product page, cart, checkout, post-purchase, and beyond, to really make sure that we drive conversions and ultimately revenue across every single key point of that customer journey, making sure that the shoppers are not alone, that every experience is dynamic to boost revenue for our merchants on the platform.
Nice. I like the term there, personalization, because I think once upon a time, personalization might have seemed perhaps a luxury, but going brand side and helping Nikki with Snoop, etc., the cost per acquisition now for a client, like for a customer, is like huge,
Yeah.
and that is becoming more and more competitive, right? And so I see personalization more as a necessity as opposed to a luxury. So I guess for you, what I want to know is like, in the last couple of years, or even the last 6 months, like what trends are you seeing in terms of acquisition versus retention? And are you seeing more and more brands understanding the importance of lifetime value as opposed to just filling the top of the funnel?
Yeah, I mean, completely agree. Like you mentioned, like cost of acquisition, cost of doing business is skyrocketing more than ever. Sometimes it's five to seven times more expensive than actually retaining a customer. But what's actually super exciting when we're seeing brands focus their strategy on is that retention piece, because with retention, ROI really does compound. So with retention, a customer who buys twice is 9 times more likely to buy a third and fourth time this way. And so we're seeing brands shift from putting all their budget on growth at all costs to really create those loyalty driven strategies, because that's really where that profitability piece lives. So focusing on having those replenishment patterns, repeat purchase patterns as well, checking in on customers post purchase is really what's going to create that compound growth, rather than like putting your eggs in one basket on that acquisition piece if we don't have a strategy in place to actually get those customers to come back.
Yeah, nice. And I guess that kind of loyalty piece is quite important. But I see I've had a couple of conversations with brands quite recently about loyalty and looked at different platforms, etc. I appreciate that maybe Rebuy doesn't have like a loyalty engine as such. So where are you seeing brands stumble when it comes to loyalty, and other particular tools that you integrate with, or how does that bit work?
Yeah, so we've seen some brands confuse that loyalty piece with discounts, and that's really not what it's all about. So it's really
Yeah.
about creating meaningful, personalized touch points. And like you mentioned, although Rebuy is not necessarily a loyalty platform, creating those meaningful experiences at every point that are different and unique across every customer, not a one size fits all, is really what creates that retention and loyalty piece. So we've seen brands stumble on like over focusing on the acquisition piece. So too much energy and budget goes into acquiring these new customers, but existing customers can be left with some generic messaging that really is not serving them any good. You're not keeping them excited. You're not really giving them a reason to come back. Also creating that one size fits all experience and not enough personalization. Like right now, more than ever, shoppers want brands to get to know them, to speak to them. So if we're not able to do so, we're going to lose them right away to a competitor that is doing so. And then I think ignoring that post-purchase factor. So the journey doesn't end at the checkout stage. The journey continues. So checking in on those purchases maybe 20, 30 days afterwards. If it's a wellness, beauty, or supplement brand, maybe, if we know that a tub of protein powder might end, at day 30, checking in on day 25, seeing how it's going. Are they happy? Do we want to, offer them a mystery spoon or a mystery shaker or something like that to like keep them excited there? And then really shifting away from that like transactional relationship piece. If our only goal is buy this then get that, customers really don't feel valued in that sense. So that loyalty piece really deepens when brands can feel and create that community piece and educational aspect too, that shoppers can be a part of and can connect with other shoppers as well too, to build that community piece.
Nice to see you. Martin has chimed in, and nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Val, you said something about 5 to 7 more times. I've heard that phrase before, like 5 to 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than basically to sell more to existing customers. Yet still as brands, we don't seem to, I don't know, maybe it's not as exciting or attractive. It seems better just to like go and chase the net new. I guess from your side, like, what are the risks in which brands can face and the dangers if they are focusing just on acquisition and they're not nurturing to encourage repeat purchase?
I think definitely creating like shallow growth. So new customers might, create that short-term spike without really showing what that repeat behavior is like. And if you're really focusing on acquiring these new customers but not exactly keeping them, then you're really just constantly sprinting to stay at the same pace. And you're creating almost like a leaky bucket because you're pouring more and more budget into this acquisition piece that's not actually going to turn into a strategy that will retain customers and get them to come back. So ultimately, it's just not going to be profitable for a customer, focusing solely on this acquisition piece rather than that retention piece for more profitable growth.
I really like that phrase, profitability, and that's something that I feel certainly the last 5-6 years, a lot of it has been chasing revenue rather than profitability. And I think more and more brands are tuning into the fact now that profitable growth is where it's at, not just driving metrics for metrics' sake. Now, diving into personalization, because I think that's why we're all here today, and that's what I'm super kind of selfishly keen to learn more about as well. What data are we looking at in terms of like building that personalization journey? What data do we need to prioritize in order to start? And I guess a bolt-on question to that is, if we are collecting the data, how ethical, dare I say, is it for me to personalize the experience based on the information I'm gleaning?
Totally. So definitely that first party data is so important. What people are buying, browsing history, how they're engaging, is data that we have the privilege to have access to, and they can really leverage it to create some really awesome experiences this way. So behavioral data, so whether that's like browsing history, time on a specific page, abandoned carts, and so forth, that transactional data piece, so past purchases, order frequency, basket size, preferred SKUs, and so forth, to really use that on the replenishment piece when it's time to reorder, having those complementary products, bundles, etc. That contextual data, so knowing what device type a shopper might be coming from. Are they coming from their desktop? Are they coming from their mobile? And then creating and tailoring different experiences this way. And demographic and preference data, so age, gender, style, size, preference, all of that really helps those create those personalized email flows, for example, if we're integrating with a email SMS tech partner as well, to make sure that we get that replenishment piece. And then that engagement data. So when it comes to email clicks, SMS response, loyalty program activity, subscription behavior, all of that, to be able to reward those high value customers, create those tailored bundles, those VIP offers, card perks, and so forth. And then, like you mentioned, it is really important to use this data responsibly. So being very transparent with shoppers, letting them know exactly why we're collecting data and how it might enhance their experience on the site this way. Definitely keep it consent driven, respecting GDPR legislation, giving customers the choice to really input and control their preferences this way too. And then that data I always choke on this word, the data minimization piece. So like, collecting, English not my first language, but we're making through it. But just, collecting the data that is truly, truly needed, not getting everything that we can, because we want to start with that high impact data points and then expand later on too. And then being secure with how we handle that data, because we know that, data breaches can destroy a brand's reputation faster than anything. So just like making sure that we take this data that we have like gold and use it appropriately.
Okay, so taking it back to like a core concept level, the typical modules, I guess, that we can personalize, or components, you said about email flows that we can personalize off the back of the data that we're getting. I know you typically see like a bought with, or people also purchase kind of module that could be personalized, etc. Where else in that user journey can we use this data to personalize the customer experience?
Truly at every point of that customer journey. So, whether it's a search and collections piece or the home page as soon as you get there, product page as well, having that cart stage. So the good thing is like having a tool where you can have AI running the show, but also you have that manual aspect to it so that you can tailor the experiences accordingly, having different segments of customers, having different experiences on the site, having different triggered rules, because every shopper behaves differently. So having that, homepage, product, cart, checkout, post-purchase piece, so that almost like your experience shifts as you're going through the site this way. So really like every single point of that journey is a key point that we have to get in front of a shopper and give them a unique and exciting experience, as if we'd be like on site in a store with them, as a sales associate with them on the store itself.
Do you think, I mean, don't want to be too controversial here, but do you think that customers are becoming aware of the fact that AI and tech is driving this personalization? I guess my overarching question is, at what point does it become over personalized and lack its sincerity and authenticity, in that, oh, you're really trying to hyper personalize the experience, oh, this is purely done through tech and there's no human interaction, and actually it was almost better when it was a little bit clunky and I could speak to someone? Like, how do we bridge the gap between trying to be as helpful as possible versus going too far and it's almost too polished that I feel like I'm just dealing with something that's not a human being?
Yeah, no, I think it's so important to keep the human touch aspect. So keeping the brand voice very much there, helping like making sure that everything that we do is aligned with the brand messaging, and like keeping that, human touch. When it comes to like, how rapidly AI is expanding and automation, all of that, like automation should definitely reduce friction and make experiences feel more relevant. But that human touch really comes through like thoughtful rules and brand aligned messaging, respecting that context as well. So on the automation piece, we should use it for like 80% of what we do, to like use the heavy lifting, be efficient with its scale, but personalize that 20% and use the human touch for the 20% side of things. So making sure that we don't lose that human touch by using AI and using these technologies. And we don't want to make a shopper feel like we're a robot. They're just going through a robotic experience rather than like actually having like a human touch too. So having, for example, like trigger-based communication this way, or segmenting and personalizing a journey this way for our VIP customers, for a returning customers, or customers that bought this one specific new product that we launch, etc. So that like we know how to group these customers, we know the messaging that's aligned to them, the human touch is there, and it's not like a very robotic experience this way.
I guess I was running a workshop for a brand on Friday down in London, and there was a subscription-based business, and I guess Rebuy could work quite nicely with subscription-based brands. I guess my question we had then, and it sounds like Rebuy might be able to do something, is around the understanding anticipation of replenishment. And I think that's something that quite a lot of subscription brands are getting wrong, is it's a kind of one size fits all, and people use up product in different time frames and cadences, right? And I guess for those that you're sending it to and they're like, hang on a minute, I've got nine of these tubs now, I don't need any more. And rather than pausing or skipping or gifting, etc., they'll cancel them, we'll lose them. Whereas if we can be a little bit smarter and personalized when we feel like they're going to run out, and that might be different customer to customer, then we reduce the churn. I mean, is that something Rebuy can help with? Is that a different part of the tech stack? Like, just trying to understand, I guess, slightly off topic and almost selfishly, but it sounded like Rebuy with the data it gleans might be able to tell us this, but at the same time, if it can't, maybe there's another tool you've seen that can help with that.
Yes, we can definitely support with that. We integrate with any subscription platform that has selling plans enabled, so not just limited to a specific group or of subscription partners. So yeah, whether it's recharge, stay, I'm trying to, there's more and more every day, but Skio, etc. Like we integrate like seamlessly with them. So being able to surface the subscribe and save recommendations on the post-purchase emails or on the customer portals or on the product page or in cart as well. Like save 20, 15%, make it a subscription, every 30, 60, 40 days. And you can change all of that right there on the on-site experience. But yes, so to answer your question, we integrate with those partners and we can create this exact use case to be able to assist with those replenishment campaigns.
Nice. Okay. I guess in terms of brand experience, is there a couple of case studies or a couple of brands you go, Nate, this is how we did it for this brand, assuming they're happy to share?
Yeah. We were working with a brand called Bear Performance Nutrition. They do supplements, capsules, protein bars, etc. We have a case study live with them. They saw some incredible results, but we were able to tell, and we worked with the brand to see exactly like what was the average that of the average time that a specific shopper would finish a specific protein powder tub, etc. And it ended up being around 30 days. So using the tool, the merchant was automatically able to send those replenishment reminders at say day 25 or 27, I believe it was, then paired it with a dynamic cross-sell shaker bottle or a complementary supplement like a protein bar of the same flavor and so forth. And this really secured that reorder, but nudged up that average order value. I think they saw something like 27% average order value lift and an LTV lift of about 47%, which is massive. Just being able to really see and follow the customer's journey of like when we should be checking in again, when it's the correct time to check in, see how they're doing. Also like to ask them like, do you like the product? Do you not like it? Is there something that you'd like to try more? And then also offer these exciting, enticing offers and get them to replenish again too for their next coming month.
I guess I see lovely Hannah Morris from Gorgeous has kindly chimed in as well. Do you have an integration with Gorgeous?
Yes, we do.
Whoa. Okay. So in terms of the kind of core tech stack, if we're looking at possibly Klaviyo in terms of powering email, and we're looking at yourselves for personalization, and we're perhaps going to Gorgeous as three core components of many brands' tech stacks. Now, question for you really is just around, and before I jump into this one, I guess if anyone's got a question, please do chime in the comments, and I'll try and use this time while we've got Val with us to try and answer those as we go. But for me, I just want to kind of keep leaning in on this practical insight when it comes to retention and LTV. Are there common mistakes or pitfalls that you see brands falling into that someone can kind of walk away from today and go, bloody hell, yeah, that's me, I'll do that, and I need to stop that, etc.? So anything you see commonly that you go, look, you're doing this and it's really hurting LTV, and actually if you're trying to retain customers, this is absolutely a red flag and not something you should be doing?
Yes. Yeah. We've seen top three of these mistakes. One, like over prioritizing that acquisition piece, like we chatted about. So really pouring in like all of the budget and money into ads without nurturing those repeat purchases really does create that leaky bucket and does not get us to reach the LTV goals that we're looking to achieve. Creating generic experiences. So treating every single shopper the same instead of using the data that we have available to us to personalize those journeys and create those dynamic experiences. And then neglecting the post-purchase. This is something that post-purchase is one of the most easy things that we can integrate, turn on, and gather data and connect with our shoppers. They're excited that they made these purchases. We can connect with them. We start building. We can get them into the community this way. So if we don't have a thoughtful follow-up we don't have replenishment reminders or no upsells, that's where loyalty and LTV are really going to take a hit. And that's truly like the key point where LTV is actually won. So focusing first on that post-purchase piece is so important. So yeah, avoiding those 3 pitfalls, I think will really help brands achieve the goals that they want to get to.
One topic I talk about in quite a lot of conversations is that word AI, and it seems to be sprinkled into every pitch deck I have chance to review now, or any brand I'm talking to. They all want some component of AI. I guess from your side, how is AI changing the game in terms of personalization? And I guess rather cynically, like it feels like AI has almost always been there with the Rebuy product, and it's nothing new. And you go, oh, what about AI? And you go, what about AI? For the last couple of years, we've been using AI. It's not like it's just arrived. It's just that people are catching up. Like, so yeah, just tell me a little bit more about that. How is AI shaping the Rebuy proposition, or has it always been a core component of the Rebuy proposition?
So AI has definitely always been a core component of our proposition. That's where, our product was built. However, like tying in that AI piece with the manual aspect of the tailoring of the rules, segmenting different rules, and in the merchandising data source piece is really how brands have been able to marry the two and create the most exciting and most precise experiences. I think if we just solely lean on AI, we like create a black box experience. Like AI really like will not know everything and will not know every single one of our shoppers. Even like if we use Chat GPT, if we don't put in the right prompts, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to actually like get the messaging that we want to get to across. It doesn't understand. It doesn't watch us live our everyday life unless you like you give it the proper prompts. And that's exactly like how we're able to marry the two. So by giving the data sources the proper prompts, the proper rules, the if statements, to then have the correct endpoints, and then using AI as another endpoint rule. That's how the most dynamic experiences have been made, marrying the 80-20 rule, the 80% automation AI piece with the 20% manual messaging human touch piece that has really helped us like propel the product where it is now and has set us aside or set us apart from other competitors in the space.
I've got a little question for you around tech stack consolidation. And it's quite well documented recently about Yotpo retracting some of its components and focusing on what it does really well. I see Klaviyo has just entered the WhatsApp space, and I know that traditionally the SMS product, whether it's them or Attentive, etc. And I know someone like Quick Engage has been focusing on WhatsApp for some time. And I go, where do you stand in terms of tech eating up the different components versus the tech specializing in one area rather than trying to do all things to all people?
Yeah, no, I think it's really easy for merchants to have, 10, 15, 20 different apps doing different things or almost the same things, and they don't integrate with each other. They become expensive. They slow down the site. It becomes really clunky with each other. And I think that's one of the most special things about the Shopify ecosystem is like we have such powerful tools and partners that are so good in what they do. And if we integrate with the partners that can integrate properly and share data with one another, you can get a very, lean, efficient, and powerful tech stack that optimizes the journey, does not break the bank for the merchant themselves, and it optimizes the experience overall. So having that simplicity piece, so instead of juggling these 10 plus different apps, a platform like Rebuy, for example, like can take care of the personalization, the bundling, the retention in one single piece, but integrates with our partners like Gorgeous, for example, on the customer experience and support side, or the Klaviyo and Attentive partners when it comes to email and SMS, on the loyalty piece and memberships, Yotpo, Stamped, Loyalty Lion, etc. We integrate with the tech partners that we know are creating the best experiences for Shopify merchants to be able to consolidate that experience and really have that omni-channel streamlined approach this way. And then, of course, like being able to connect the data that we have at every touch point. So if I'm able to feed the data to Gorgeous, to Klaviyo, like it becomes a cycle that works extremely streamlined this way. And it's a very powerful way of operating the site itself so that the merchant can focus on the strategy piece, like how to, the building on the products, building on the ship, like steering the ship itself, rather than like focusing on the back end and managing all these pieces when the technology can take care of itself, connecting each way. And that will lead to faster growth. So merchants can then have that enterprise level personalization without that enterprise level overhead, for example, to drive average order value, repeat purchases, and lifetime value ultimately.
So I guess if you were to choose one tech partner that you would say Rebuy partners particularly strongly with, who is your one that you're putting forward? So I appreciate you've got a lot of friends in the ecosystem, so you can't choose loads. You've got one. Who's it going to be?
I think I would say Klaviyo. And the reason I say that too is because on the
Hannah
Klaviyo,
Morris has just left the call. She's fuming.
oh, he had to
Fuming.
come back.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So Klaviyo, why Klaviyo?
The reason I say Klaviyo is because we have a super powerful integration with them on the data source piece. So with Klaviyo segment, we can input the data sources piece, which the data sources power every single one of the widgets across Rebuy. So that's the widgets powering the on-site recommendations, the cart, the checkout, and so forth. So we can actually have Klaviyo segment rules. So whether it's our VIP customers, our top 1,000, or geolocation based, groups based from the Klaviyo data that we have, so that we can create a very unique on-site experience and off-site experience. So we really are able to fuel the data and take advantage of the data that we have through Klaviyo across not just the post-purchase email and SMS piece, but the on-site experience as well.
Nice. Okay. She's still there. She's still there and flying the flag.
Yeah,
Good on her. So one of the questions I'm getting asked a lot is around measurement and analytics and kind of seeing what's working, what's not, etc. In terms of the measurement of lifetime value from personalization specifically, how do Rebuy merchants measure the uplift they're getting from personalization?
Yeah, so we definitely are able to track that average order value lift, repeat purchase rates, and that subscription stickiness as well. And then once they zoom out and say, what percentage of my revenue is actually coming from returning customers, if that's trending up, then that personalization and LTV piece is really working. I would say the key retention piece for LTV is that repeat purchase rate. So are more customers coming back after their first order, or are they not? And then the purchase frequency, are they buying more often? How long does it take for them to buy more? And then for us as the RGR piece, or Rebuy generated sales. So Rebuy generated revenue, sorry. So being able to really see, and all of this is available also in the dashboards. Our reporting team has done an incredible job, like optimizing and enhancing everything that we can see that Rebuy powers. Is like, what specific widgets are driving X amount of growth, what products are being showcased the best from these specific widgets, what traffic is coming out of it, the conversion rate piece too. So you like leveraging the data that you have there available to really see that average order value lift and the repeat purchase rate.
Very good. Fine, absolute oracle of knowledge. I guess as we come towards the half-hour mark and wrap up today's kind of quickfire session, what I want to know is, with Black Friday, Cyber Monday around the corner, I mean, let's hope that everyone is well prepared. But I mean, it still amazes me how many are yet to have it all nailed. I guess from you, what are the core takeaways you want people to take from today? And if they could do anything with the Rebuy platform, what would it be and why?
Okay, there's so many different things, but I would say first, like test, A/B test, A/B test, A/B test since last year. Like, see, you can A/B test absolutely everything within Rebuy, so that you can see exactly what widgets are performing against which upsells, what data source pieces are promoting X amount of growth, X amount of conversion rate and traffic. So test all along the year, or the months leading up to BFCM, so that you can really see what strategies are the ones that drive the most traffic and revenue this way. Something that is so easy to turn on to and works like magic is that post-purchase upsell piece. So creating or offering mystery gifts, or offering discounted gift cards for that retention piece too, to get customers to come back. Maybe like right before BFCM, they have a gift card to try out, like get them to check out everything that you're doing around BFCM. And then also like the cart upsells. I think the cart is one of the most like valuable places of real estate that you can really have showcasing these product upsells or complementary pieces. If you want to do a buy more, save more, offering this way too, it just converts super, super fast. And if you're on Shopify Plus, definitely leverage that checkout. It's actually wild. Like I think it's only like 30% of brands on Shopify Plus are leveraging checkout upsells. And it's like one of the main things that is available to you using Plus. And you're investing in that, premium plan as well too. So that is super easy to turn on. It's prime real estate. Shoppers are there inputting their products. They're there for longer than at any other point of the journey to fill in their information, et cetera, et cetera. So having a cross sell or even like using content blogs to leverage your campaigns or membership rewards programs like is so, so, so important. And you have that space available if you're on Plus. So yeah, I would say A/B test, cart, checkout, leading up to BFM and post-purchase as well.
Easy as that. Val, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you. For those that maybe want to find out more about yourself or about Rebuy, where do they go to find out more, to organize a demo, etc.?
Yeah, you can go to rebuyengine.com. Our team has just launched a brand new site on our pricing and product page. You can get a demo with our team right away. I would be more than happy to connect also over LinkedIn and can provide more information too and connect you with one of our team members. And yeah, my email is valeria.granda@rebuyengine.com. I'm always so happy to provide more information and connect. So yeah, those three areas is where you can find us.
Wow, superb as always. Thank you. For those that have tuned in, I hope you found it useful. If you're watching this on repeat, please do get in touch. I'm sure Val and the Rebuy team are happy to answer any questions. But for now, thank you. I wish you all the best if we don't speak before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Val, I look forward to seeing you this week at the Ecomm Expo. And for any brands or partners that are there, I look forward to seeing you too. Thank you so much for your time and for tuning in on a Monday morning. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, Nate. Have a great week. Take care, everyone.